welcome to another episode of Gorilla Radio. I'm Joe Caprino, and I'm the Extreme Coach of the Year for the Penn Wrestling Program, and I have the Mike Reiser here, ready to talk about wrestling and the semi-state. Oh goodness, that's a great first comment.
It comes right up as a default, man. Anyone can click it.
Yes. um, I got Mike Reiser here. We're gonna talk wrestling. I guess semi-state. Something big's going on. Uh, Semi-state or something of that nature. What's going on here? Mike, how was your weekend?
Always really good. We did the broadcast at the Hobart Regional, so I'm not sure I didn't get to see all the team results, but it was like one of the closest races. It came down to like the last head-to-head between Hobart and Maryville was able to pull it out. We actually did all the rounds. It was pretty good. Not the longest day, the shortest day of the tournament, right?
Yes, the shortest tournament day, uh, but it's still a long day because that first round's kind of stressful. You know, knowing that's the do or die round, and now we got two do or die rounds coming up this week. So, man, I love semi-state, but the nerves and the tension that's in the air. So that's always the I mean, it's always crazy to think of like when after this ticket round that you could just feel the air just feels so much uh, less stressful because everyone's made everything's figured out. You just gotta finish out the semis and finals. So
Oh
um,
yeah, I think that's like one of the craziest rounds. Like especially, I mean, I've only ever been to Maryville and East Chicago. So at that point, like they have four mats going, and you have everyone's, something crazy's happening on every mat. Like it's unbelievable. Like guys that you were sure were gonna make it are going home, and obviously we do the rankings and you throw them out the window because one poor move or a guy wrestling his best match at that exact point, you know is the difference between a ticket to Banker's Life or having to buy a ticket.
oh yeah, yeah,
Probably a lot more fun the next weekend than it is if you're not buying a ticket.
yes it is. Yeah,
I'm not sure if I obviously like I lost at the semi-state, so it wasn't ever. I don't know how that feeling is to not buy the ticket. So I'm guessing it's a lot better than the feeling that if you're losing.
yeah, yeah. No, it's man, it's like people are new to to Indiana and stuff. Just that feeling of that semi. I want my young kids, the younger guys, freshmen, sophomores, even middle school kids, to come watch semi-state just to see it, feel it. It's hard to explain without being there and seeing it yourself. It's stressful, and it's not. It's one of those things that it's that your season comes down to one match basically, and
Yeah,
it's you're going to state or you're not, and there's no there's no way to get it back. There's no way to. I mean, I've seen so many kids just crumble in that ticket round. Just the pressure, they put it on themselves, or coaches, whatever, parents. But it's just one of those things that it's hard to not, you know, hard to do. I mean, kids that do it all, make it all 4 years. That's crazy. I mean, you got the number one battle, a tough draw, most likely, and we're gonna talk about a couple of those when we talk
yep.
about Newcastle possibly and Evansville. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's just one of those things that it's hard to do as a coach. It's stressful and exciting at the same time. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We're not losing you, Mike. You there, Mike? I hear you. Uh-oh. Oh, there you are. You hear me? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We're losing Mike again. That's not good.
Like generally, like you're going to have your best guys are going to make it through. But yeah, like you said, like the semi-state ticket round, even the first round, if you have a bad match or you're not feeling well, everyone's sick right now. I don't know how you guys are in your school system, but it seems like everyone's dealing with the flu. It's a tough week, man. This is not a good time to be sick, and they're saying your audio is bad, Joe.
As always. Let's see. I'm pumping it up now. Here we go. We're up to 300. Hopefully you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? I
Give
changed
us a
this to
thumbs up if you can hear him now.
okay. Hopefully this is better because I just changed it to 300. Oh goodness, we got our Jordy Folks love.
Jordy Folks wrestled well.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Sean Russell, I appreciate the thing, but I had to go back. Jordy Folks was ranked ahead of Scott Fitz in my state rankings on IndianaMat.com.
Yes.
So I don't think it's an upset. I think I have Jordy Folks as 5, so he'll have a chance to wrestle Jonathan Curvin, who's ahead of him, and Logan Bowe possibly this next week, right?
Yeah, that should be some good matches there. Tonight we're gonna do 2 episodes this week, so we can give every semi-state their proper due. We're gonna talk about the North, Fort Wayne and East Chicago, and then later this week, I don't know what day, we'll talk about the other 2. We'll talk about the South, Newcastle and Evansville. And those will be a lot of talking there. So, anything we want to talk about last week other than, I mean, I don't know. There wasn't too much excitement. I mean, there's.
Yeah. How about Alex Cotty losing to Cody Githero? That was kind of a shocking one for me.
Yeah. I don't know how that went. But obviously, ultimate tiebreaker. I mean, you got to. I mean, playing defense and probably not allowing Cotty to score is probably the best way to wrestle him. And then that sets the stage for a pretty crazy tick-around match.
Yeah. Well, anytime you got the number 1 guy is going to feed in somewhere, it's going to be tough. And obviously, we're going to cover those next week. I thought the Hobart, like I said, the Hobart Regional, there was just a lot of chain events in the team. I know, like, not everyone's impressed by it. I seen it was ranked the lowest regional in the IHSWCA. So I stand by my contention that you should be looking at the top teams. Like, every regional is bringing out like 3 strong teams who are taking up the majority of those spots. But I digress. I'm not a expert in that. But it was a really good team race. Hobart, Maryville, Portage. Portage kind of, I think in the semis, kind of fell back. They wrestled really well the first round. And then Hobart, Maryville came right down to the wire, just like at the Lake County tournament. So I'm excited to see that. And like Nathan said, I got to see Javante Tate of East Chicago, 120. He qualified for the semi-state. He posted first time since 07. So
yeah, that's pretty good. That was just. I mean, I just went after I saw somebody tweeted something. I saw it and I'm like, oh my. So I went and looked at the scores, 191 to 190. That's just crazy. Like the top 3 teams had like 32, 33 of the qualifiers, which is it was crazy. So that was what do we think about Briar Hall?
I mean, I know we're gonna talk Newcastle later on in the week, but Briar Hall got a tough one, right?
Yeah, it's 2 years in a row. He's not getting
2 years in a row. Both Roncalli kids too, right? Who did he have last year in the ticket round? No, I didn't have Roncalli last year. Who did he have last year in the ticket round?
I do not know, but there's a website that I can find that on.
Is it Track Wrestling?
Yes. I just know where the link is.
Yeah, I mean Briar Hall, Tice Freegee is going to be a tough one in the ticket round. Possibly, obviously, someone's going to be looking to play spoiler there.
Yeah, Briar Hall lost to Terrell Lavelle.
Yeah, Terrell Lavelle was really good. Lawrence Central.
Yeah. So, that's he has a tough one. Man, there's some ugly. There's always some ugly ticket round matches. I don't even want to. I mean, that's the biggest thing that we look at. We get the brackets and it's like ooh. And especially I was able to get the ones with the rankings on there a lot quicker. So that was a lot of fun to look at those. In kind of real time to have those ready, and look at the brackets and seeing those. So So any other recap from this week that we want to talk about?
Not too much. I thought the rankings held up pretty well. I seen that they posted on the board. I went back. I had to go check something because there was I was like, man, we are slipping. I seen someone post that Howie had a 98% on his state rankings, semi-state rankings.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, how did Howie kill us? And then I went back and looked at it, and he did the 8, and we expanded, which was Like you would think that was more beneficial,
Yeah.
but the majority of the ones that we lost were our nines and tens, and mine at least. I only looked at mine because I only cared about my rankings. But I think if you took away all the nines and tens that I lost, I think I only lost like three. It ended up being like a 98 also.
Yeah. Yeah. That's that. He does.
Come
He
on,
does
Wheeler
have.
Wrestling, why you doing that to me?
Yeah. That
I
does
can,
make it
I
a
can
little bit
give,
easier to not have any flubs. So. Yeah.
yeah. You would think that was a benefit, but it ended up being a detriment.
Yeah. So you're just gonna rank top four, then you'll get 100%.
Yeah. If I only did top four, I didn't lose anyone. I think the highest I lost was a six.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I need, man. I need a picture of Wheeler Wrestling right here.
Yeah. Get the Wheeler Bobcat or whatever that is. That the Bobcat? Yeah, Bearcat. Sorry, Bearcat.
A Bearcat.
I don't know.
It's a-
Bobcat, Bearcat. What's the difference? I don't know. Anyone can send me the difference between a Bearcat and a Bobcat. I'm up to learning. Um, so okay, let's see. Yeah, these nice, pretty brackets with rankings in them. I don't know if you guys haven't seen them. They're pretty nice. Check them out. Yeah.
I seen that, Jeff Danansky. I know I got my Indiana Matt blanket again. Kim's right.
She's on there. She's on there, and she's just like downstairs. She's
Yep.
watching you. Nice. So, okay, we're gonna talk some semi-state wrestling. We'll start with the second best semi-state, East Chicago. Right?
EC.
EC.
Uh,
Nice big gym.
yeah.
Let's.
I never through the year look at like how the rankings break down per semi-state ever. Like never. Like unless there was like a glaring one, like I look at it and it's like, oh, 16, and there's not like one guy from East Chicago in there. You know? And I never think about it. And then when an indie sports fan like posted that, like the breakdown is crazy. Like, I mean, I don't rank like, oh, these are my picks to go, but like you rank the guys that have done the best, you know. And some my are gonna be a little bit Jimmy Fine. That one got me. Um, so
Where's the ban button? I
I
can
know.
mute him. I can mute that guy real quick.
Well, what was that commercial before? Like I'm Dana White. This is like Dana White, like who uses Boost Mobile or something.
Nice.
Um,
Yes.
yeah, I think so. I never really look at it like that, but then when he breaks that down, I was like, oh man, like I didn't rank EC and Fort Wayne as high this year, and that doesn't say they're not doing well. It's just Indy and Evansville have been so good this year.
Yeah, those two are just some
Oh,
stacked.
before we get into these brackets, we should talk a little bit about the Indiana college guys
Oh
doing work,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, first off, Sarah Hildebrandt made the U.S. team to go to the Pan Am's to qualify the weight for the for the Olympics, which is a very big event. And I believe if she qualifies the weight, she'll get a bye to the finals, which is even bigger and better. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Mason Paris, trying to wait for brackets. I'm like, oh, we got about 10 minutes. We can watch a really good match, and
Yeah,
he barely gave us five.
he killed Cassiope, right? Like,
Yeah,
did
that was ugly.
Cassiope tech him at Fargo their
Yeah,
senior year?
yeah. They did, and that was, yeah. I mean, Mason was 235 ish, maybe. Not a, not he's probably about
Yeah,
250 now, and uh,
he's huge.
he was very raw freestyle wise, and he got a couple like head pinches and things like that. That it was a little bit sloppy, but yeah, that was not expected, and he just took it to him and just out athleted him, which Cassiope
And then
moves well for a heavyweight. They both move really well for a big guy, and he out athleted him, and Cassiope had nothing to
and
throw at him.
I mean, now you're looking. I mean, obviously Gable sat out the duel with Michigan, but at the Big Ten, that's what you're looking towards. And you're talking about. I didn't think Gable looked great today against Neville. I didn't think Neville wrestled very well against him, but um, not as good as Mason looked against Cassiope.
Yeah, definitely. Neville's was tough, but he's really not on that tier to be. He's there. The talk for Neville's is more being maybe around a 12, maybe sneak into an All American spot. But he gave Gable a pretty good match for about 6 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very impressed with Mason this week. Um, Brayton Lee had a good match with
Yeah.
Verklieren. Brayton likes to go overtime just to wear guys out. I think he just likes to go overtime. He likes making sure he gets a free time, free bonus time.
Didn't him and I was like talking to someone that they were like kind of down on how do you say like his name like their
Verklieren.
McLaren.
Yeah.
But they used to wrestle pretty well in high school, right? McLaren was a big time recruit going to Penn State early on, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a cadet world champ. So yeah, he was a pretty big time recruit. Um, yeah, I know Joe Lee beat him in high school. Um,
Oh, maybe it was Joe.
yeah,
But I didn't think that was a bad match. He was down and then came all the way back and went to overtime. How about Nick Lee just destroying people, right?
yeah,
Dude, Tristan Moran was what, 4?
yeah. Tech fought him.
Tech fouled him and then like was like upset. Like he was like still he wanted to pin him too.
Yeah,
And then he pinned Mitchell McKee today in like what, a minute 34?
yeah, yeah. That wasn't even. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, him and Pletcher are Saturday. So unfortunately, we're gonna spend all day at um, at semi-state and gonna kind of miss that match. I know.
Yeah.
Okay, I plan on being there till the last match. Unfortunately, so
Yeah.
hopefully we get done.
I
a
get to
little
drive up to Michigan afterwards, so
nice. So that'll be fun. Yeah, but yeah, the guys are doing pretty well. I know. Indianapolis had a big win over Tiffin this week. Tiffin was ranked, I think, like 7th, and Indy beat them. So a lot of good results for all around, and it's always fun to watch. If you watch the broadcast, the BTN broadcast about Penn State and Minnesota, right at the beginning of Brayton Lee's match, they kind of they talk about Indiana wrestling and how it's kind of a sneaky good state. Mention a lot of names, familiar names that we all know. So it's kind of neat to, hear that praise for the state. So take a look at that on Big Ten Network if you guys have that.
yeah. Then you had Chad Red made his return to Indiana. He got a win over IU, got a fall.
Yep, and Graham Rooks is just beating ranked guy after ranked guy. I think his only loss is to Lee Brayton, but he's been just beating solid stuff all the time. First couple ones is like, oh, that's pretty good, that's not bad, and then he keeps winning, and he's gonna have a pretty solid seat at Big Tens, and I think it would look like he's gonna have a solid rating point, which means he should be able to qualify for NCAAs as a redshirt freshman, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Then you seen Chris Rumpf put in work at the Osberg-Wartburg rival duel, right?
Yeah.
Beat the number 2 guy again.
Yeah, Rump and Kobe Woods.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So a lot of Indiana guys making some noise on the next level.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always fun to watch. So let's talk about semi-state. The East Chicago semi-state. Ooh man. Looking at my brackets, my wonderful, pretty brackets, that first quarter at 106 is just flat out ugly. Logan Stuckman, David Maldonado, Johnny Cortez. You got number 5, 10, and 3 in the semi-state, and number 10 in the state, Logan Stuckman. That's pretty ugly. You got number 4, 8, and 6 in the semi-state. Jake Stahl, the regional champ, Ashton Jackson, and Trevor Triana. You got Jeffrey Bailey, number 6 and number 20, Avery Miller. Then you have Sam Goen and Xavier Chavez, who kind of came on late from Mishawaka. That's not a good draw for Mr. Chavez, but what's your thoughts here on this weight?
I thought it separated pretty well. I think Jeff Bailey looked really good at the Hobart Regional. His only loss was to Johnny Cortez, a match that he was kind of dominating at the Harvest Classic. I think he was going for like a tech fall late, and then he ended up getting pinned with like 6 seconds left on the clock. Even if with the 5, he would have still won. I like to see that maybe be a final. Sammy's been wrestling well. His only loss to Logan Miller, so that one should be interesting. The other side, I think it's a lot of toss up. I think Logan Stuckman's wrestled well. I mean, obviously Brady's on here. They've seen those guys twice in some good matches. 36-2 as a freshman's pretty good. Dave Maldonado, Johnny Cortez. I'm sure those guys have seen each other. Cortez has been wrestling pretty solid, and then Jake Stahl, 39-4. Trevor Triana, Ashton Jackson winner. So I think the bottom half of that's pretty much tougher. But I mean that's the blind draw. That's what happens. So
Yeah, it should be a pretty good weight. Going obviously is the heavy favorite, but you got to wrestle the matches, and it's a long day, and it's a lot of tough matches back to back. 113. Top quarter, you have Alex Kellogg from Harrison, Doug Waters from Chesterton, and Drake Montalego from Tippy Valley. You got 7, 5, and 8 in the semi-state. Then you got two ranked guys. It almost looks identical to the last bracket. You got number 13 and 20 in the state, Trevor Schammert and Nam Doan. I'm sure they have wrestled a little bit. Then you got Ryan Purvis. The next quarter. You got
I don't know if they have.
They have that Hobart and
I'm not sure.
Lake Central.
If they
They're
did,
like a mile away from each other. How have they not wrestled?
I think I don't think Nam Doan was at the. He wasn't at the county. Ryan Purvis beat him at the Harvest. So I would have to look at it, but I don't know. And I don't think they caught each other at the Al Smith. I'd have to look at it. I don't know if they have wrestled.
Jeez, that's kind of surprising. They're a mile apart, and they and they've been
Trevor
at a couple
Shammert's
events. So
yeah, Trevor Shammert's 3 losses are Logan Frazier, Anthony Ball, the backup at Crown Point who's really good. He'll be in the lineup next year. He'll make a lot of noise. I'm sure he'll be in the state rankings next year. And then Alex Cotty.
yeah, so that's pretty good slate there. Going down, you got Ryan Purvis from Penn, number 15. You got number 6, Stefan Vitalio from Valpo. That's a first round match, and then number 10 in the semi-states, Lucas Clement. The bottom half, you got Logan Frazier, who's number 1 in the semi-state, 6th in the state. Hunter Miller, Cohen Craig, and Adam Parton, the token Portage guy with a losing record. So
Those dudes were wrestling so good Saturday. And then, like, even when I told Coach Bradbury, I was like, hey, man, like, where you guys were when we saw you guys early on to right now is amazing. He's like, we're not done yet. So, which is, exciting, man.
Yeah.
That one, I think Schammert and Frazier, the 2 top guys. I think Crown Point probably going to take the first 2 weights for sure. I mean, not for sure. Nothing's for sure. But I think Crown Point takes the 2 first weights. I think Ryan Purvis and Logan Frazier was a really good match at the Al Smith on the front side, and Frazier kind of opened it up on the back side a little bit more. They wrestled, and Frazier has 2 losses, 1 to Alex Cotty, 1 to Brad Cooper. So both those guys not in the semi-state.
Yeah.
So Purvis and Frazier should be a pretty good semi. I would think that those guys are going to be there. And then that top one, no state ranked guys in there. I haven't seen Drake Montalego, but Doug Waters, a senior, and Alex Kellogg. I think it's pretty top heavy, Caleb. I think the top 4 is pretty strong, but once you start getting into that like lower like 6 through 10 area, it's not as deep. Where there was some years like 170 is a deep weight, but there was some years I'll talk about that later. 120.
He's trying to get some pick'ems advice here. He's trying to get.
I know, man.
You can't lose at pick'ems now. We have rankings on the thing. If you just go through rankings,
I
you're
know.
gonna win.
I like to put in 2 brackets. I like to put in the rankings bracket and my own personal one to see which one does better.
Yeah, and the rankings bracket's always like top 5.
Always. So you can like literally pick and then maybe get a T-shirt.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, like you said, Frazier. This is pretty much same, almost exact layout as the last bracket. You have pretty much the top 2 guys on the bottom half, Frazier and Purvis. Obviously, Schammert and Shammert's pretty tough there. I mean, so it's fairly well spread out. No real ugly ticket round matches.
What did Uncle Jimmy call Ryan Purvis? Never nervous Ryan Purvis.
Yeah,
Is that what he called him?
yes.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
As that was off of former basketball player, never nervous. Shoot, there's a Purvis guy.
Percy Purvis.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
Logan Frazier on here, man.
Yep. He's
Logan Frazier, who's the top 4, man. Give us the breakdown.
Where do you think you'll finish?
Yeah.
Where are you planning on finishing? 120. Start top half. We got our first ugly draw. Riley Bedich versus Ty Haskins, number 2 in the state versus number 9. We got Drew Hughes here. Hey, Drew. Hey, he
big win for Michigan State today too, right?
Yeah,
they beat Wisconsin.
They beat Wisconsin. Drew didn't wrestle. He didn't want to choose top. I guess he has only a certain amount of times he can choose top. So, but
maybe he was at the middle school state coaching his brother to a 3rd place finish. Shout out to Lars.
Oh yeah, maybe he was. I know. I think I saw him in the lineup there. He probably was taking the day off, being a slacker. Probably, I don't know. I'll choose bottom against Drew. I'm not afraid.
Lars looks bigger than Drew was when he was in 8th grade. I feel like they're creating him to be a monster. He's pretty big for like a kid. I see him and Ken always working out.
Yeah, they're always working out, and Ken. I think Ken lifts weights too. So, so yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
Back on track. Hopefully, Drew doesn't kill me for saying I'd choose bottom.
He's tuning in to see where he finished in this all-time voting tonight.
Yo, yes, he is. They're probably driving all the way back. They're probably driving back from Nebraska. Or, yeah, not Nebraska. Yeah, Wisconsin. Actually, probably not that far of a drive. So, anyway, 120. Riley Bedich versus Ty Haskins. Bedich obviously lost for the second time to Giovanni Diaz, the Wheeler Bearcat. So that's
both awesome matches.
Yeah. No, that's, and,
those are archived on the RSN network if you want to go check those out. Both of them incredible matches. Came down to the last 30 seconds in both matches.
Nice. Yeah. So him and Haskins, Bedich and Haskins. That's a match that obviously you said Porter's wrestling real well. That could have you look down the road. That's going to have a semi-state level, semi-state team championship implications.
In the G on Gary, in Gary, Indiana.
They're driving back. Nice. Man,
and stop over there at the Sharks and tell these guys what's up. Get the lemon pepper wings. teach these Michigan kids what's up.
Get Garrett Pepple a little bit cultured. He's from Avila, so get him a little cultured. Take him to Gary. He'll never be the same again.
Stop on Ridge Road in Cleveland and go to Big Daddy's Barbecue. They won the Steve Harvey Neighborhood Award for ribs for the last 5 years. Go get that done.
Get those guys some culture. Cameron Caffey will get you guys through. He'll help you guys out. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough draw for Haskins. You win a regional, and I know that I think he's had some struggles against Maryville. He might have been a regional champ last year. Also, I have to look back at it. But I know he had struggled with Martin Cruz. He was beating Martin Cruz when he was a freshman, and Martin Cruz ended up getting a fall late. Caleb Bellingham, he knows what's on the block, man. Congratulations to him. Caleb qualifying for semi-state for the Warriors.
Nice.
But that's a tough one, man. I know those guys have wrestled, and Riley's tough, man. So that's a tough ticket round match for both those guys. I would assume Riley's going to come out of that one, but I'm sure they're going to use that as fuel to get those guys pumped up,
Oh, yeah. That's definitely – I was trying to get going, but Bedich, that's a tough take-around match, and Crown Point losing Bedich is a big loss because he's a top – he's a placer. He's a high placer, probably semi-finalist, not finalist. Them losing those type of points is would hurt very much down the road, so that's going to be one that, as far as looking at team races, semi-state and state-wise, that's one you want to have circled. Obviously, then you just circle the whole Newcastle bracket too.
Yeah, I think that was the thing that when I was talking to the Crown Point guys for the year is that Mater Dei and Brownsburg and Cathedral and Warren, those guys are going to kind of pick each other off at the semi-state level. And we'll talk about that later on in the week. Crown Point had some pretty favorable weight classes where they're heavy favorites in. I think there's like 6. I mean, when Cody Goodwin was in there might have been 7 weights where they were very strong favorites to win the semi-state, at least be in there, 6 weights to be the semi-state champ. You lose a guy like Riley Bedich, and you're kind of losing that like shot at the state championship. If you have 6 guys, medaling, 7 guys medaling, that's a very strong showing.
Yeah.
What did Cathedral have last year?
They only brought like 5 kids to state, I think, but they all won. They all got pretty deep, so that's one of those things that.
And I think Crown Point could have a similar showing like that, but you need to win those tough semi-state ticket round matches. And when obviously we're getting off track, we can go on.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you have
that's a big it'd be a big point. I mean, they're going to be like I said, it's gonna have implications further down the road. Losing a guy like Bedich or any of those guys early on. So that's one of those things. Like you said, they're favorites. They're going to be favorites to win semi-state, which puts them a lot better draw in for that first round of state, which is uber important. We all know. So that's gonna be very interesting. Moving on, you got Brody Fogarty has overcome some weak genetics. He won his second straight regional. So
but his dad can
I'll take
grow
my
a
Jimmy
beard.
Fogarty shots here. I ain't afraid. Overcome that. If you look at him, I mean, geez, and Brody's a fine athlete. So
2-time regional champ.
Yep. So he'll have Cole Salome from King Gay Valley. I know you're pretty high up on him, freshman.
Yeah.
Had a pretty good season. Got number 6 and 8 in the semi-state. That should be a good, solid matchup. Giovanni Diaz, we're in regional, and I mean, honestly, he didn't get an easier draw by any means. He got Ruben Padilla and Dylan Tom Winter, just 2 solid guys that are gonna, he's not gonna have a cakewalk at semi-state. And then you got Sam Hine, 36-1 from Harrison, and Malik Hall, another 2 guys ranked in the state. So you're gonna lose a ranked guy there, and then no ranked guys in the Fogarty and Salome ticket round match. So you're not gonna have a qualifier there. So
we have a perfect
we need to
bracket.
talk to Robert about make sure rank guys in every quarter bracket. You think we could get that done?
Bro, this blind draw is killing me. Yeah, Fogarty had like a real good shot last year. He ended up running into Jake Armstrong. Jake Armstrong for Winnemac took out 2, I think, semi-state ranked guys. He was semi-state ranked also. He was state qualifier 2 years ago, but he beat Tatini, who we're going to talk about in a little bit, and then he beat Fogarty in the ticket round. Cole Salome's tough, 3 losses. I think 2 to Diaz, 1 to Bedich, so no slouch for sure.
Yeah, that should be a good bracket overall.
That Sam Hine Malik Hall match would be big. Malik Hall has 2 losses to Bedich and a loss to Haskins, and Sam Hine, I believe, lost his at 120. I think he lost to Christian White at the Spartan Classic. So
yeah, neither Haskins and you look at Haskins and Hall. Neither one of them, or both of them, are pretty tough wrestlers, and they both got crappy draws. 1 and 2 out of their sectional or regional.
I'm sure Hall's a lot more happy he didn't get that Diaz draw. I know it was close at one point. I think last year they wrestled at the county, but I'm sure he's a lot happier he didn't get that ticket round draw.
Yeah, definitely. So moving on, 126. Got a top quarter bracket. Stefan Roberson having a great year.
Great year, yeah.
Dominic Smith and Nathan Schammert, number 5 and 7 in the semi-state. Then next one, you got Lakin Webb, who's the regional champ for Rensselaer Central. Matt Adamquez from Hebron. And then you got Brendan Mark.
East Chicago. We're going to do Newcastle and Evansville later in the week.
Yeah. You got Brendan Mark, number 17 in the state. And then going down, Jace Alexander with some guys with number 10 ranked, semi-state ranked, Josh Daniels. And then Alexander Pajowski from Merville, regional champ. Random guy that's probably going to make the state semifinals. He's number 6 in the semi-state, and then he drew into Aiden Torres, who's pretty tough, number 2 in the semi-state, 8 in the state. Looks like everything got pretty well separated. Obviously, we lost some ranked guys, it looks like, but pretty well separated overall in this bracket.
Yeah, I think we lost a returning state, or that was at 120. A state qualifier didn't make it to the regional. Roberson's wrestling great. He's been wrestling great the entire year. So I'm sure they're looking for him to be the champ. Maybe that another matchup with Torres, Dominic Smith, Shamrock wrestled at. I believe they wrestled at the Al Smith. I think Dominic Smith came out on top on that one. Brendan Marker, returning state qualifier. Um, I think he got a pretty favorable draw there. Lucas Underwood's been wrestling tough. Jace Alexander, 35-1. His only loss is to Aiden Torres at the Al Smith when Aiden Torres went unseated. Right? And I believe Aiden Torres' 4 losses are all to Stefan Roberson. And the first one was tight, and then Roberson's kind of separated going forward from there. Tough draw for Pioski. I know that they're really high on that kid. They said he's just a grinder. He works hard, doesn't miss practice, basically does anything you ask him to do. Regional champ, I'm sure that was probably the highlight of his wrestling career up to that point. That's a really tough ticket round draw.
Yeah, no, that's a tough one.
But that Aiden Torres, Jace Alexander could be a pretty exciting semi. I feel like the Alexanders step it up in the state tournament.
Yeah. Wallace always does well, at the right time. They peak him at the right time, so that should be very interesting. 1-3-2. There's a kid in this bracket that's decent.
Yeah.
You got first top quarter bracket. You got a semi-state. The first round, you got semi-state number 6, Adam Ahmad and Isaiah Pons from Lake Central. They'll get the winner of Braden Noose and Jordan Bonk. Noose was the regional champ for West Central.
Jordan Bonk's kind of a funky wrestler too.
Yeah,
I think he's a kind of a big move guy.
You get 2 of them in a row, and you're heading to Banker's Life.
Isaiah Pons, 10 losses, but I think he's ran into Jesse a couple times this year. At least I think 3 or 4.
At least 3.
Sectional. He's doing that Tony Reiser, Alex Sertzis right now.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, sectional, regional, conference. I think any duel, he might have got him at the Al Smith. Any duel you can get Isaiah Pons and Jesse Mendez together, I guess. And Jesse grew up in the Lake Central School Corporation, so I don't know if they know each other. But man, why is he doing this boy like that?
Yeah.
Hector also let me know Jesse undefeated at the regional in spike ball, so that still stands. Bring your spike ball game to the semi-state finals, 15-0.
Yeah. When are we going to get the rules that they play by? Because it's region rules, so there's probably steel bars are allowed, and the region rules are there are no rules.
He said he plays internationally. He said he learned it at the Pan Ams.
Nice.
Sorry. So Vince Sparrow, number 14 in the state, number 2 in the semi-state. Ethan Contreras, 8 in the semi-state. Juan Simpson of Gavitt. The Gladiators, I think they got 4 through. Juan Simpson wrestling pretty well, but Vince Sparrow been there. I'm sure he's happy. I think he was a ticket rounder last year to Mendez, so I'm sure he's taking care of business this year. Was very took that weight off his shoulders.
Yeah. Winning regional is always a positive thing when you have a guy like Mendez sitting out there that is going to be a regional champ. There's gentlemen.
Dinger just told you that's his partner. Dinger's here. That
first to 11. I need more than just first to 11. Those are like short games. You got to go 21. Those are grinding.
Man, they got to wrestle in between.
I don't care.
They got to wrestle in between these spike ball games. First to 11 went by 2 gentlemen serve.
What do they do? Throw it on the middle of the mat when after the kids get their hands raised and they do a game real quick, or what?
We take long breaks, man. We have so much excitement in the region that once we take these breaks, we got to take a couple 30-minute breaks to decompress.
Nice. Well, it's better than the duck goose that some teams try to play, and I'm glad
we don't do that up here.
No,
we don't play duck
goose in the region. Do you guys even know what that is?
We do. We banned it.
You banned it?
They used to do a bunch of flips. Alex and all those guys used to do all kinds of flips. Cosgrove used to dance, and now we got spike ball.
Nice. So yeah, going down. I guess we're just getting off track every time. Mendez, he's pretty good. No semi-state or state-ranked guys that drew him. So I guess there's William Rojas, Brock Hoganson, and Kobe Johns. I feel bad for you guys. Then you got Bradley Conrad from Portage, who's had some solid wins this year, and then Todd Hardy from South Bend, Washington, who's ranked 5th in the semi-state.
That makes me disappointed, Caleb Bellingham. Kevin Warrior should not be playing tag at the GSCC.
You got
Yeah, Bradley Conrad's wrestled really well this year. He's a guy we've talked about on some of the broadcasts that really, in a time where a lot of guys are leaving their schools if they're not getting, Logan Hill, sorry, Simeon Norton, that's my dude, South Bend Riley. We're about to get there too. Um, in a time where like guys can just leave and they're gonna say, hey, I'm gonna go somewhere else. Bradley Conrad, stayed at Portage, was behind some real, studs there, and it's paid off. I think he's wrestling really well. I would be surprised if he doesn't make it to the state finals. Unfortunately, he'll have Jesse in the semis, but unless something unbelievable happens. I was just telling my daughters today about the state tournament and how Brayton Lee had one loss in high school in the ticket round.
yes. Well,
That's unbelievable, right?
yeah.
So it can happen to anybody.
Yep, it can.
Cooks out here. Cooks out here throwing out coaches challenges.
No, he's going after anybody, man. This is
Dude, I don't think you want that smoke with Cook, bro. I heard he's a real good gymnast too. I heard his like gymnastic team strong. His mom's like a gymnastics state championship coach.
Jeez.
He could probably do like all kinds of flips and stuff.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to get these. Maybe we need to have those rules posted so that we know exactly how they're playing. Because there's a little bit of there's some rules I've seen that are applied in different areas. So got to go region rules, I guess, or at least the official spike ball Association of America, SPA, SEPA. So or SPA. Anyway, 138. Droshan Lewis, South Bend Riley, number 17 in the semi-state. He has a tough one, or in the state. We just want Poppy in a hula hoop contest. We are bringing a hula hoop for Poppy to do before the finals this year, in front of everybody, and we want to see that. That is he will not be allowed in the state finals if he does not do a hula hoop. And if you guys want to know, check out my you got to look a couple years back on my Instagram account, JT Caprino. There is a Poppy doing a hula hoop. I'll just warn you, it is very funny. Maybe I'll put a link someday. Anyway, Droshan Lewis, Will Earls, and Nick Tatini. That's going to be a pretty tough quarter bracket there. You got 3, 10, and 7 in the semi-state.
Will Earls coming back off an ACL. He did not look as good this past week, and I'm sure they would tell you that also. It just looked like he was kind of out of it. Tough spot in the regional. I think he was pinned in the 3rd and 4th place match. But Droshan Lewis has looked good the entire year, man. I thought he looked good last year, too. I thought he wrestled really well. He beat Nick Tatini at the Al Smith. Tatini's wrestling well. He ended up getting a good win over Ethan Kaiser of Chesterton, who had beat him a couple times. But that's a huge guy that Crown Point's going to need to punch a ticket. Tatini was right there last year. He was winning and got head looped with like 30 seconds left and pinned at the semi-state.
Oh, goodness. I pulled up that thing. Anyway, yeah. You got Anthony Rivera, number 19 in the state, and Ethan Kaiser, number 15. That's going to be not a crazy death draw, but pretty good. That's going to be a real good match. Eli Hickman, number 1 in the semi-state, number 6 in the state. He has a tough one with Jack Krause. Or Jake Krause, I don't know how that's pronounced, from Valpo in the first round. And then you got Tyson Nicely, and he'll have the winner of Jordan Howard and Alex Corneo. So pretty well separated. It almost looks like, it's almost seeded based on, the two higher ranked guys are wrestling each other in the ticket round when you have 5 guys that are ranked. So pretty solid class top to bottom.
I think that one would be pretty good. That Tatini Droshan Lewis match will be huge. I'm sure B flat. I have Droshan Lewis ready. I'm sure the Crown Point crew, Hawkins, Sessa, Lorick, will have Tatini ready. That's a tough one early on. Isaac Switzer, Lafayette Central Catholics. Now I got to sleep on. Yeah, Hickman's been wrestling really good. Hickman put it on Tatini at the county, which I don't get to see a lot of Rensselaer wrestling. Hickman got a connection to Drew Hughes. His like stepsister married Hickman's older brother, so maybe he's learning the top position on the secret training. But he looked really good. I know he's a really good baseball player. Really athletic kid. 39-1 on the season. I think his one loss is to, I believe, Hunter Cottingham, or maybe I think it was one of the guys from, or Hayden Shepard, one of those two. There, Joe posted it. So if you guys want to get your retinas burned, go ahead and click that link.
This is going to be bad. Anyway, yes, pretty good weight, 138. Man, we're going slow tonight. Oh well, we might have to do 4 episodes. I don't know.
Maybe 4.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's a good weight class, top to bottom. Not, Eli Hickman's number 1. But you have some good guys. Him and Nicely. Nicely's had a good season this year, 40 wins, and they wrestle a pretty solid schedule.
Yeah, I thought it was Cunningham.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jerry.
So 145. You got 6-0, Jacob Maldonado.
They said Jacob's like an All-American in soccer. He'll be playing soccer in college.
That's pretty impressive.
Like all region is like the equivalent to All-American or something. He looked really good. I know that they thought he could come back a little earlier, but they held him out to the sectional. I would be willing to bet he has 6 falls. He's been wrestling really well, and I think that he got a pretty favorable draw there. I haven't seen Keegan Adams, returning state qualifier, so I like Jacob's draw there.
Yeah. Moving down, you got Brock Ellis. That's going to be a tough semifinal match, but Ellis has been wrestling real well, 42-0 this year. Number 10, Matthew Honeycutt from Whiting, first round, 10th in the semi-state. And then you got our guy, Simeon Norton, number 5 in the
Simeon
semi-state.
Norton, man.
Him and Orlando Cruz. That's going to be a tough one.
They might have wrestled at the Al Smith also. I mean, Simeon was on here. He could tell us.
Yeah.
But Simeon Norton's having a really good season, 35-7. Orlando Cruz having a monster year as a freshman, 28-5. I know a bunch of those are to Brock Ellis too.
Yeah, and Crown Point has a pretty darn tough schedule too. So, and then bottom quarter, you got AJ Poindexter. He'll have the winner of Tyler Tillema and Tyler Herring. Loser has to change their name. Number 7 and 8 in the semi-state. So that'll be interesting. Poindexter, you could have undefeated finals. Poindexter and Ellis. That's gonna be, they got separated pretty well there.
Or Maldonado.
Yeah, you got 3. Yeah, you got 3 undefeated guys.
3 undefeated guys in there. Simeon Norton and Orlando Cruz ticker on to be a good match.
Yeah.
Again, I mean that they kind of Riley has those guys kind of clumped up. So I think even at 52, they're pretty good also. But Droshan Lewis and Simeon Norton have been doing it at a high level for a while, so it'll be interesting to see that one. That's going to be huge points. Crown Point needs those guys to get through.
Yeah, that's another one. As we were talking earlier, and I haven't even looked through all the brackets totally, but yeah, that's another one that they lose a guy like Cruz, who could score points at state for him. Definitely, that's a big loss for I think Chesterton's right on their tails, Maryville's on their tails at semi-state. If they have a couple matches that don't go their way, it's going to be close, and it just takes 1 or 2. The way the scoring is, it's you don't get you get qualifiers are huge, but you got to get the guys in the finals too. So it's going to be interesting.
AJ, I know she just posted. AJ Poindexter is on the Logansport Regional. He's wrestled well the entire year, and I think every time we've seen him, he's like the most hyped for his teammates. Like he's the guy that's getting crazy for his teammates all the time. Great kid, and I think that's a great story. I think we did an article on AJ this year, right?
Yeah, we did. So yeah, that ran a couple weeks ago. So yeah, it should be a good match, good week. I'll speak a little bit louder, I guess. I don't know.
Orlando Cruz and Simeon Norton did not wrestle at the Al Smith.
Okay. So moving on, 152. Sean Hollis from Lowell, 11th ranked. He has a couple unranked guys in his quarter bracket. You got Garrett Stuckman, regional champ from Wawasee, coming out. Obviously, he's 12-0, so he hasn't been out with an injury, I assume. Him and Isaac Hegwood. That should be a good ticket round match from Portage. He's ranked 15th in the state. Going down, you got Tyler Turley, number 13, and Cade Johnson from Chesterton, number 17. That's a pretty good ticket round match. And then Jordan Douglas, two-time state qualifier for Attica, looking to be their first state placer. He'll have Josiah Marsh and Aiden Pollitt, winner number 7 and 8 in the semi-state. So pretty well separated again, but then you got couple real solid ticket round matches too.
Yeah, this weight I think is a pretty even weight across the board. Sean Hollis has wrestled really well this year. Uh, Elijah, I mean, he beat the Hilger kid out of Fort Wayne. We'll talk about later on tonight. Pretty good when they wrestled, and Sean Hollis pushes the pace. Sanders wrestled well, but I like Hollis there. I know Danny will get on here. And Jeremiah Anderson or Jerome Anderson, Trey Anderson. That's a tough one early on for Stuckman. Anderson's wrestling. He beat he knocked one of the ranked guys out, Christian Ponce out.
Yeah, that should be
Hegwood coming down from 60, he had some good matches early on, but he's kind of wrestled a little bit off. He lost and down at the bottom. Jonathan Hinjosa of Lake Station beat him at the sectional, and then lost him in overtime, and that's who Jordan Douglas has. So the Hobart Regional was pretty good at 152. Turley looked really good. Turley Johnson would be pretty good in the top position. I don't know. I like to see Hegwood get through, just keep my rankings looking good, But
yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised if Garrett Stuckman got through.
Yeah. 160, top quarter, you got Hayden Humke, then pretty good, solid top half. You got Ryan Breedlove, who's number 3 in the
Take it to him, pal. You got it.
Yeah, Ryan Breedlove, number 3 in the semi-state, then AJ Steinbeck. How do you have a guy ranked number 4 in the semi-state? Is state ranked, and the number 3 guy isn't? Come on. Who does these rankings?
That's how you do it sometime, man.
So you got number 10, 3, and 4. So that should be a pretty solid quarter bracket. Jason Tinkersley from Winnemac, number 5. Got number 8. And then you got number 2, Nick Winland. You got number 8, Caleb Ellingham. He was just on here a little while ago. Nick Winland's number 17 in the state. You got 2, 5, and 8. Another pretty tough. He did pretty good with these rankings. Then you got Holland Donor, number 7 in the state, and number 1 in the state, or one in the semi-state. He'll have a couple guys that are unranked. And then you got
some young guys, right?
Yeah, freshmen and sophomores. You got Jacob Linke from Warsaw. If you haven't seen his story, it's really cool. There's been a couple articles around him. He's number 6 in the semi-state. Kamari Dunlap from Michigan City's number 9 in the semi-state, and number 7 in the semi-state, Robert Stanley from Adrian. So a lot of pretty solid quarter brackets. Looks like you're going to at least lose one ranked guy. Yeah, you could lose one unranked quarter bracket. So we're already down, man. You're not doing too well in your rankings.
Got to be at the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jacob Linke, I mean, just out of one of those things that you hope he qualifies just because the story is so unbelievable. Like qualifying for state would be great for him, but the story of his life is unbelievable, right? We talked about that last year, and you guys will see it at East Chicago. Whoever's gonna be at East Chicago, he has a sign language translator that chases him around the mat as he's wrestling. He's deaf. He lost his hearing. His dad beat him when he was a kid. He was a slave in Africa. It was it's an unbelievable story, and then it just makes you realize how little our problems are.
Yeah.
So Robert Stanley, Andrian's only guy, Coach Bedoy over there trying to build a program. He'll be out there drilling with his guy.
Yeah, that's gonna.
Kamari Dunlap had a really good win early on over Nick Winland. One of Nick Winland's losses is Kamari Dunlap, so that could be a good first round, maybe a 4-over-1 there. But I'm pulling for Jacob Linke.
Yeah, that's great. That'd be great for him to go to state. So I'm kind of he's gonna have a lot of people rooting for him. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I bet, dude. He looks strong. I watched the South Bend regional final with him and Steinbeck, and dude, he looks like he's pretty strong. I think he jumped 2 weights too.
Yeah. We did a story on him earlier in the year. It was actually probably one of our first stories that we did. So you gotta check the archives.
I think they did a news broadcast over there too.
Yeah. Nice.
I think they did one of the news stations in that area, or South Bend, did a featured piece on him.
Yeah, last year that story that they ran that exploded really a lot, and no one really knew about it. And then all of a sudden, oh, holy cow, what's going on here? So,
Right.
um,
Holland Donner, he, he's out here winning. You know, he's out here winning spike balls. Number one in the semi-state. He's had a really good senior year. Tankersley 28-1. Caleb Millingham first match. Coach Watkins, I'm sure I'll have him up. Coach Trevino. Nick Winland. Nick Winland had an awesome. That was an awesome Al Smith match in the semis with Levitz. I
yes,
think Levitz ended up getting a fall, but they were like out there just tossing each other. So like he's able to go with anyone. Homeke did a really good job putting himself in a really good position here. Steinbach wrestled, I think, like 82 at the Harvest Classic. So I know they didn't wrestle. But Ryan Breedlove, I believe, was the Harvest Classic champ, 33-4 senior. So those guys, I believe he has a win over Homeke this year also. So Ryan Breedlove, AJ Steinbach, winner gets Hayden Homeke. It'll be a pretty good ticket match. None of those guys are AJ Steinbach's state rank. Pretty good for a freshman there, right?
yeah, yeah. That's yeah. They have a couple good freshmen. Obviously, one's been out, but Steinbeck's a pretty solid guy there. So he should. I mean, positioned to qualify at 160 is always pretty impressive for a young kid.
Yeah, and I don't think we talk about that a lot as like freshmen. He's wrestled in front of big crowds. He's wrestled big matches growing up. You know, I don't think the crowd's going to get to him. Sometimes it gets to guys. If this is your first time wrestling in front of that many people, you might freeze up. I don't think he's going to have that.
Yeah. So moving on, 170. 170, the top quarter bracket's going to kill your rankings. You
Yeah,
got number 20, number 18, and number 10 all battling out in the same quarter bracket. Spencer
I
Phillips,
blame Cody. I blame Cody Timberman.
yeah, A- Abel Verbeek was a state qualifier last year for Lowell. He got a fourth. That's a bad number 4 to draw into. And then you got
Yeah,
Brady Welch, who was a state qualifier last year for Culver. So there's a state qualifier going home, and you got Spencer Phillips sitting there at 35-1, thinking, "Hey, I won regional. Oh wait, now I have to go through. He has to beat 2 semi-state or state qualifiers just to get to state, just to be a state qualifier himself. So that's gonna be pretty crazy."
he was also a Harvest Classic champ. His one loss, I believe, was to Matt Neff at the War on the Wabash. So he's been running a pretty hot streak here.
Yeah, I
He's a taller guy too. So
yeah. The moving down and speaking of Matt Neff, he's a regional champ. He'll have number 9 in the semi-state to Cody Timmerman, and then going down, you got Graham Calhoun, number 1 in the state, and then he's going to hit Aiden Sneed from Kankakee Valley, who's number 16. Man, your ranking, I guess it's pretty deep weight class, obviously. Number 13, Gavin Lehman from Chesterton, and you got number 8, Jacob Simpson, ticket round in the bottom quarter. So a lot of pretty deep weight class, obviously, rankings wise there.
yeah,
Yeah, obviously.
this one was hard
Calhoun's,
to do semi-state rank. Like, and I know Caleb asked early on like how I felt the semi-state was overall. I feel like everyone was just at 170 because even Levi Buck of Harrison had a pinfall win over Matt Neff. Matt Neff has beat Gavin Lehman a couple times this year. Jacob Simpson had a win over Abel Verbeek, and he's had a win over and win over Aiden Sneed. And Grab Calhoun just cruising, man. He's good. He's really good.
yeah, yeah. So that should be a fun.
He'll be wrestling for Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Maybe him and Drew Hughes next year, huh?
Oh yeah, that'd be interesting. So yeah, that should be that's just a tough weight top to bottom. A lot of good matches there. That definitely one you'd want to stay for every match. You got, I mean, it's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah, Cody Timberman, huge match, pinned Brady Welch at the regional.
Yeah, with about 3 or 4 seconds to go, kind of got in there's video on there on the Mishawaka Web's Twitter, and got in a scramble and kind of just kept his hips in good position and got a quick pin. So
And
that's
Cody Timberman, man, like we looked at the freshman sophomore rankings. He was real high when he was a freshman,
mhm.
and he's had to cut down. Obviously, like you have a 95, and we're going to talk about those two guys. Like you got to get in where you can get in, right? Like it'd be great to wrestle 95 if you. I don't know if it was 82 or 95 where he placed at freshman sophomore state, but you got to be at 170. It's tough to get in the lineup anywhere else.
Yeah, yeah. So moving up, 182, another pretty solid weight class. You got Colin Kwiatkowski. Kwiatkowski. We're getting that right once in
I
a
think it's
while.
Kwiatkowski.
Quite, whatever.
Hmm.
You're better at
We do
pronouncing
that
that.
region.
Yeah. He's got Cole Reitz. He's listed as Donald Reitz. It's Cole Reitz. It's Jerry Reitz's brother. Just so everyone knows, I looked at that. I had to do a double take. Like, is Cole and Donald the same person? Um, they're obviously
Yeah.
using government names. So, uh, he, Reitz Cole is ranked number 9 in the semi-state. Uh, so that should be a good first round match. And then you got Chris Walton versus Hunter Rowendy from Lowell. Walton's number 8 in the state, and Rowender's number 6 in the semi-state. And then I have Ahmad Akalai. Okay, I totally butchered that. Number 7
Good
in the
enough.
semi-state. There, I got Connor Barkett from West Lafayette, who's 40-1. Next quarter bracket. Cameron Smith, number 10 in the semi-state, and then you got Joe Walker, who's pretty good, going to Michigan. I guess Michigan does a pretty good job of coaching wrestling, and then he'll have the winner of Jaden Browder from LaPorte and Aaron Stewart from Lake Station. So that should be a pretty well separated, all the ranked guys. So you can get 4 for 4 here if they do their job. And
Yeah. There was some, and then I have some complaining to do here. So initially, Shea Jackson wasn't in the sectional lineup. He came in later. They had another wrestler listed who was actually pretty good, Weimer. And then they pulled him out and put Shea Jackson there. And he would have been semi-state ranked too. He's semi-state ranked the entire year. He's a state qualifier from Colorado.
Yeah, that's tricky by the Hobart or the Chesterton staff there. They shouldn't have done that. That's not nice of them.
Nice, man. That's awesome. They said Joe Walker was at middle school state today, cheering his brother on. That's good.
Yeah, I think he was at Michigan on last night watching the duel.
So he's putting miles in that car.
Yeah, must be have to get some stock in the local speedways.
or Fogarty. I seen Fogarty took him to the Iowa duel.
Yeah, trying to get him to decommit.
I seen that he took Mendez there too.
Yeah, interesting. So
yeah, so Colin Wagner's been wrestling well, 25-2. Obviously, he got his second loss in the regional final. Kwiatkowski, returning state qualifiers, wrestled well the entire year. Chris Walton is an athletic freak. Him and Hunter Rowider wrestled the first round of the Al Smith also. I think Chris Walton won by fall. Connor Barkett. Cameron Smith started the year ranked. And then I know he was injured from football. I thought he's been wrestling really well the last couple of weeks. He had a real tough one in the semis with Chris Walton. And then Aaron Stewart's been wrestling well. He just kind of ran into Chris Walton. I know 2 of those losses are Chris Walton. Chris Walton, they both went upper body. And when you go upper body with Chris Walton, it's just tough to win those. And then he got the worst possible draw in Joe Walker.
Yes. Well, he'll probably go upper body with Joe Walker too. So
I bet he tries.
Those Lake Station guys like to throw, from what I've heard, especially those big guys. So, 195. You got a pretty good weight top quarter bracket. No ranked guys, but you got 7, 8, and 9. Gage DeMarco, Ben Call, and Mark Mummy. Pretty solid, quarter bracket there. You got number 7 Jack Hargan from Attica, and number 6 Eli Pack. That's going to be a good one. That's state.
That one's tough.
They got Pack has Gabe Campos from Griffith, who's number 10 in the semi-state.
Eli Pack has had bad luck at the semi-state.
Yeah, he's coming.
And he's had bad luck against Griffith because I think Connor Cervantes beat him last year, 2 years ago for sure.
Yeah, Pack only.
Jason Streck beat him last year, and Connor Cervantes beat him 2 years ago.
Jeez. Yeah.
He's not had good luck in the region.
Yeah. Now he took his first loss to Jacob Laplace this week. So, and it
was like, I mean, I don't know. I only seen the score. I didn't watch that final, but it wasn't like a blowout.
No. So that's
maybe the match wasn't as close as the score.
Yeah. So he's gonna have definitely his work cut out for him there. Moving down, Javante Williams from Maryville. He wrestled heavyweight. He's the one that wrestled heavyweight for him for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And then he has Brock Huber, first round, number 16 and 18 in the state. And again, you screwed that up where Huber's ranked lower in the state but higher in the semi-state. Come on.
I do it sometimes. It's independently done, Joe.
Yes. Yeah. they're done at different times. So yeah, Huber is ranked fourth in the semi-state and sixth. So either way, you got yourself covered. Like, oh, whoever wins, I had him ranked higher. So um,
I put money on that too, Cook. I take action on that. Alred's not winning this one. Not this individual bracket we're talking about.
no, I guarantee you, Allred does not win this one. I promise you. I'll put a lot of money on it. Whatever I have.
But if he shows up in East Chicago and they let him wrestle, then we're gonna lose money.
yes, he's just gonna come on, throw on a Lake Central singlet or something, and
Robert will be there like, I'll allow it. Like, come on, Rob.
So, yeah, and then the winner of Williams and Huber get Luke Backus from Harrison, who's had a pretty solid season.
Yeah, he had a huge win over Bobby Babcock early on too.
Yeah, and then the bottom quarter you have Jacob Laplace, who's having a pretty solid year. No losses, so that's pretty good at this time of the year. So, pretty interesting weight, spread out fairly well. Obviously, the 6 and 7, losing a ranked guy there.
Yeah, that first round match of Mark Bummey had a really good match with Javante Williams. That was the basically I think the difference. I mean, they obviously had two matchups head to head with Hobart and Maryville, 95 and 220. Mark Bummey's having a good season. I think that's probably the best draw. I think Gage DeMarco might have beat him early on. Gage DeMarco had a win over him at the Hobart Super Duel, I believe, but I think it was pretty close. Jack Hardigan, a quiet 38-0, number 7 in the state. I think that's probably one of the guys we don't talk about a lot. He had a really good win over Isaiah Street at the Carnahan Brownsburg. So him and Eli Pack should be a good one. Campos and Pack should be a really good one. Williams and Huber should be good. And then you turn around and you have the winner gets Backus. And then Jacob Laplace didn't get a single semi-state ranked wrestler in there. But I think it's always a benefit, and obviously the places also. But it's always a benefit when you can practice with your entire team.
Yeah.
Jackson beat Mark there. Who did DeMarco beat? He beat one of the guys there. Or Bobby beat DeMarco. Something like that. Jason's here, so he can answer those. But McElroy, be ready. Like, I think when you're practicing with your entire squad, it's a lot easier than if you're the single guy practicing with a coach.
Yeah, it's definitely, when you have a bigger team, and we keep a lot of our guys around. A lot of our guys stay around, and it's always nice when you have that full room, because then you don't feel like you're just the only one wrestling. So yeah, that should be good weight there. A couple undefeated guys could possibly meet in the finals, which is always good. 220, everything got separated fairly well here. You had all your ranked guys. Number 5, Jason Streck up top. He'll have a couple tough guys. Jake Woods from Crown Point, Alejandro Fuentes Ortez from Southern Raleigh, who's had a solid season. You got Big Will Kreider, not as big as he used to be because he's at 220. He'll have number 9 Hayden Luter from Gavitt first round, and Peyton Kendall from Penn versus number 8 in the semi-state, Eddie Alonzo. I know Kendall's probably been in the semi-state rankings, I think, a little bit here and there. And then you got Evan Bates, number 1 in the state and in the semi-states, and he'll have the winner of Ethan Alderson, the Giant Killer.
Yeah. Ethan Alderson definitely puts on a show, right?
Yes.
I know you get to see a little clip of one video, but Ethan Alderson's going for broke all the time.
Yes.
All the time. And he's about 5'8", and he's out there just going for heads, man. He's out there throwing people all over the place.
Yeah. And then you have Jacob Raub from Lafayette Jefferson, number 6 in the semi-state. So Bates will have get pushed a little bit here. Then you got Jonathan Thomas from Mishawaka. That is spelled incorrectly. Surprised someone didn't say anything about that. And then he'll have number 20, Bobby Babcock, take a round. So I mean, you couldn't have seeded this any better, I don't think, if you would have.
Right.
But everyone was separated by regional. I know we were talking about this earlier about Jonathan Thomas moving down. All the better guys are going to be separated. There's really, the bad draw is going to be Bobby Babcock. But
I think that's
a killer bad draw. It's not like a number 5 guy that's lurking. That's going to be second in their regional.
I think both those guys are ultra athletic. I'd be willing to bet if they did
athletic competition outside of wrestling, those would probably be my first two picks. I know Bobby's a really good football player. I think he has like several Division I offers. I seen his dad posting a bunch of stuff. If you're Bobby Babcock, I think that's the draw you want. You know, you don't want to get Bates. I mean, and that's no disrespect to Jonathan Thomas, but I think I'd rather take my chances and not have Bates.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
And if you're Ethan Alderson, maybe you do want Bates. He's taking home medals, man. He wants medalists.
Yeah.
He's the people's champ. I used to call him a showstopper. He goes out there and goes for broke. He's like one of the guys that's gotten so much better from like his freshman year to now. It's unbelievable how much better he's gotten.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a tough draw with Bates. He got Holden Parsons.
Yeah. He launched Holden Parsons.
One of Holden Parsons' losses is Ethan Alderson at Lake Station.
Yeah.
So he's gonna go out there. He's not gonna back down. He's not afraid. I'm sure Evan Bates will respect that too. And I bet he'll be a full 220.
Yes.
About 5'8", 220. You don't get a lot of – if we can get that going, if we can get Ethan Alderson, Will Kreider, that's what we need. That's what I need in my life.
Can we at least get a consolation match there? It's just something. That'd be a good match to watch.
Will Kreider got a tough one too.
Yeah.
He's got some young bucks. Peyton Kendall, 24-17. Penn has a way of getting better through the year. If he can get past that first round with Eddie Alonso, you don't think that Penn has a game plan for Will Kreider? Hezzy's wrestled him 100 times.
Yeah.
I mean, not that Peyton Kendall's Hezzy DeVault, but, I mean, you have a coaching staff that is known as game planners, and I bet that they have a game plan for him.
Oh, yeah.
Now, 7 foot, 220-pound guy that can bend you in half, it's a little tough. You don't get a lot of those. You don't get a lot of those looks in the room.
No, you don't.
I don't know if you have 7-foot guys on your basketball team right now.
No. I'm sure I am pretty positive the Harrison basketball coach wishes they had guys like him, even if he can barely shoot. Just all he has to do is put his arms up and he'll block 90% of the shots.
Yeah. He's going to do the taco fall, man.
Yeah.
Alejandro Fuentes Ortiz had a really good Al Smith. Jake Woods has a really Stephen Aller, 5'3", man.
5'3". Jeez.
Giant killer, man. You got a picture over there.
Come on.
I did, man. It's tougher when you're broadcasting. You're far. Dude, he's giant killer, man. I think we did that on the RSN network when he used to wrestle Matt, I think, heavyweight all the time. From Portage, you just go out there and go at him. That's what you want to see. Like single attacks. You got a lot of legs there, Jeremy.
You don't have to really even do a level change for a low leg attack on Kreider.
And then Jason Strick's been wrestling well. I think Jake Woods of Crown Point has a really cool story. First year back on the mat. But Jason Strick's been wrestling really well. And that too, Alderson wrestled in the semis. So it'll be interesting. He wrestled Bobby Babcock really tough in the sectional championship. So I don't think that you should sleep on him. All the fans of East Chicago that are coming from South Bend and coming from Logansport, they're going to be excited because he's an exciting wrestler.
Yeah, definitely. So 285, we'll move up the big guys. Up top, you got Hezzy DeVault. He'll have a tough one. That Seth Chrisman from Harrison. Harrison just has some good heavyweights, big guys. I know Chrisman's kind of been JV for a while behind the Kreiders. He's probably not a big fan of the Kreider family, but
I believe he was a semi-state qualifier at 220 2 years ago.
Yeah, so he's had some good wins over his career and stuff. And I know there's always been talk about they gotta try to get a guy like him in the lineup. And I mean, when you have two good heavyweights, there's nowhere to go. You got to try to cut a kid that weighs 250 down to 220 or whatever. So that'll be an interesting match. Obviously, Hezzy's a pretty tough seasoned veteran. I got
Andreas Larios from Hammond Clark. That guy's sneaky good too. I mean, Hezzy's a different kind of animal, but Andreas Larios, Lake County runner-up, he's had some really good showings. That could be a really good first round match.
Yeah, the next quarter is going to be pretty solid. You got number 8 in the semi-state, Hunter Whitenack, who's regional champ.
Bro, have you seen that guy?
No.
He's huge. He's huge, and he legs.
Oh, geez.
He's a sophomore. He's huge. I saw him on the RSN network. Dude, he's a giant. And my boy Dan Luther's been telling me how good he's been the last couple of years. Dude, he's so good. He's so big.
Nice. So that'll be that's gonna be a pretty tough quarter bracket. You got number 17, Caden Souders from Lafayette Jeff, and he'll have Sam Perez Jr. from Highland, number 13 in the state. Perez just signed to play football somewhere. I just saw that. And
St. Xavier,
St.
Chicago.
So
AJ said Christmas was a semi-state qualifier last year.
Yeah.
See, Kraus, dude, being D recruiter in D1, dude, he's huge. He's huge. He's like Shakir Carr big.
nice. I'll have to find a picture.
I don't know if he's 7 foot, but dude, he's a monster, and he's a child.
He's only a sophomore. I'm gonna have to look this up now. I want to see what I mean. Obviously, when you say he's huge, I'm. Oops, wrong one.
He was legging Byers Toner in the finals.
Nice. Yeah. So while I'm looking that up, going down to the bracket, you got Maria Omadori from West Lafayette, who must run their semi-state with a couple of pretty solid guys. He'll have Chad McLean from Hobart.
Bro, did you just see what Nick posted?
That's big. Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, 6'6.5", 315 measured barefoot by Purdue.
Nice. Yeah, so that's a big guy. Yeah, that's a big guy.
So if you're working at East Chicago, get the tacos, double them up this year.
Don't make a taco bet with him unless you have a set number of tacos.
Yeah.
Are we getting another taco bet this year?
I haven't, man. Wrestling Scholar's doing so much good stuff with this rotating regional. I don't think I could come at him with that, man. I can't do it.
You gotta set the over under, and yeah. So moving on, you got Chad McLean, who's number 19 in the state. Bunch of unranked guys there. You got Zach Felquez from Valpo and Andrew Himes from Plymouth. And then the bottom quarter, Damari Dancy, Mason Toth from McCutcheon, who's had a solid season. And then Joseph Phillips from South Bend Adams, and then number 7, the semi-state Brer Stoner. So you'll have most likely a Dancy versus Hezzy finals there. So what do you think about this one?
And that was a really good match at the Harvest.
Yeah.
Where Dancy was winning, and then Hezzy ended up pinning him in the third. Hezzy hit a super, or not Hezzy, but maybe. Damari Dancy hit a super duck on on Sam Perez in the finals. It was unbelievable. It was like as smooth as they come. So you got a 200, probably 40-pound guy hitting super ducks on guys. Chad McLean did better at the Al Smith than he did at the regional. I think that's more of an anomaly. I mean, he was third at the Al Smith. He had some huge wins. I like him to come out of 4-over-1 there. I haven't seen the West Lafayette kid. Sam Perez, Caden Souders would be a good first one, and then they got this giant of a child that's going to be out here just, trying to kill people.
Yeah.
Legging them with legs.
Or
hacking people.
The New Prairie, their Twitter account. So I'm looking. They have this like team picture, and you have just normal looking people, and then you have this guy that could take up half the picture. Yeah. I wonder which one you're talking about. Jeez, he's a big dude. Obviously, he's cut.
Dan Luther, man. Dan Luther told me he was doing a good job. He didn't tell me he was a monster.
Man child. I like looking at these pictures, and it's like seeing this like giant against all these other, Yeah, that's he's a big dude. Wow. Yeah, he's big.
Nick, is he related to the head coach? Because I think that's his last name's White Snack, also, right?
Yeah. He'll answer us, I'm sure, in a second. Yeah, just check out the New Prairie Wrestling Twitter account if you want to see how big he is. He's big.
He's huge.
Yeah.
And then I think Hezzy's looking for a state championship, man. He's trying to get back, down to Indy and make that happen.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Okay, so that's Bobby's son. So, yep, that's, yeah. Jeez, I wouldn't want to feed a kid like that.
No, you feed him with the idea that he's going to go play Division I football, and then he's going to feed you when you get older. Yeah. It's like give and take.
Yeah.
Team race, there's going to be so many like small things here and there. I think it's going to come down to Crown Point. I mean, Crown Point's the heavy favorite, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Like they have, 5 or 6 weights they should win. Should on paper win, but you never know. East Chicago's always crazy. Maryville wrestled so well last week, or 2 days ago now, or yesterday. This is when they peak, man. Coach Maldonado does that all the time. Like, you always find guys that he just finds going there.
if you coach at New Prairie, you have to be large and good at throwing things.
I see, I seen Jason Cook said he's gonna go start smacking chairs like he's gonna. Did you see the Hayden Henley smacked that chair in that North Carolina State duel and
Yeah,
smoked
yes.
it and destroyed it?
Yeah,
Jason Cook told me he's gonna do that. He's doing that in East Chicago.
nice. It's good.
He didn't tell me. I seen he retweeted that. It wasn't a direct thing.
Nice. Nice. So, yeah, the team race obviously is going to be Crown Points to lose at this point. But like we said, there's some potential hiccups. A couple tougher take around matches that they got. They're definitely the favorites in those, but it's a take around and anything happens.
Anything.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, like if Crown Point has a bad tick around, if they lose Bedich, dude, the energy goes down. I mean, obviously you're not going to lose. I'd be shocked if they lost Mendez. Like that doesn't happen. Like how many times have like returning nationally ranked state champs gone home in the tick around? Josh Burge, not many, right?
yeah, yeah,
I would be shocked. But like Haskins, Bedich, I mean, I still think Bedich is the heavy favorite, but if they figure it out and they take that one out, that maybe it's a domino effect,
yeah.
if they lose to Teeny. But they would have to lose a lot to not be the favorites, and you would have to have some other teams wrestling really good days.
Yeah. So that's definitely they're gonna have champs too. I think it'd take a little bit of the steam out, but it's not gonna take
No.
especially. I mean, the thing is, you're gonna lose Bedich. If you lose Bedich, it'd be early in that take around, so it's gonna be they'll get that momentum back going. But they're still heavy favorites at a lot of those weights, so
Yeah.
they'd have to have. They're gonna have champs, which is huge at this level. I mean, last year at Fort Wayne, Jimtown won semi-state with 3 champs. That's all they had. That's all
Yeah.
the people that scored.
And they're going to be favorites. I mean, Sam Going's going to be a favorite. Logan's going to be a favorite. I mean, just according to rankings and results, Jesse's a heavy favorite. Roberson's a favorite. Dinger's a favorite. Those guys you would think. And then, but on the same side of that, once they get rolling, maybe those other guys do get through. Maybe Bedich does come back out. Maybe you do get Tatini through. Maybe you get maybe McElroy figures it out and gets through. You get some of those bigger guys.
Yeah, and it just takes something like that. So that should be interesting to watch. And like we said earlier, it's gonna a lot of this is we're also looking a week ahead at 2 weeks ahead basically for state. They're gonna be set up fairly well with ones and twos for
Yeah.
Friday night, which helps. Obviously, you get those guys on the podium. That's a lot more points than having no one on. I qualifying 10 guys and not getting anyone on the podium, 0 points, no matter how you feel. How you do it. So they gotta having better draws there is gonna be good. So it's 10:30 already. We're gonna have to do 2 more this week because
Yeah, do it, man.
we're good. Maybe 3. I don't know. I know we've in the past we've done 4. But yeah, it's getting late, and I know everyone's a lot of people need some sleep this week. It's gonna be a fun week of wrestling, so we'll tell you guys when we're gonna be on next. We're not sure. We'll decide that as we get off the air. But there's a lot of stuff to talk about semi-state. We don't want to just skim over a lot of good matches and stuff. I know like like Newcastle's just stupid, just stupid.
Stupid. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Evansville. I mean, like obviously we're not like you're going to Fort Wayne. I'm going to Chicago. We're not killing those semi-states because we're going there. But you have the 3rd and 4th place match from last year at state in the ticket round. That's unbelievable.
That's a Fort Wayne thing. What are they taking our stuff for?
I know. That's going to be unbelievable. And those are both kids that are good kids. Like not just are they good wrestlers, they're good kids. I mean, Bandit's one of my favorite guys when he comes on here.
Yeah. So a couple of questions. Team state points update. That is not us, but usually it will be Tuesday-ish, give or take a day. It'll be. They usually do it pretty quick. There's a little bit quicker turnaround for regional and semi-state, just because they have all the data in there. No, Nick, we did not skip Fort Wayne. We're gonna do it another night because it's already 10:30 and you need to get to bed. You gotta get up.
Nick said you don't sleep.
You gotta get up early for school and teach those kids. Okay, so You need
Nick
to go to
said sleep's for people that are broke. You don't sleep.
bed. Those New Prairie people don't sleep. They're vampires.
And giants, apparently.
Giants, yes, giant vampires, which is even scarier.
The worst.
Yeah, no. Take a look at the New Prairie. Take a look at the New Prairie Twitter account, and you'll see. If you can't figure out who Hunter Whiteneck is, you need your eyes checked. So
Nick said they're doing dodgeball tomorrow. He said he's ready to run through Fort Wayne.
yeah, well, he should be. He needs to. He needs to. He needs to practice his spike ball. Screw dodgeball.
Yeah. He's going to start training the gym classes at Garrett to train for Jesse Mendez and Dinger and spike ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Training. They're like, screw this, train state qualifiers. We're just gonna be. We want to go down in history, beating Dinger and Mendez at spike ball. That'd be bigger.
15-0, man. They can't be lying if they keep winning. They won the DAC. They won the regional. They're bringing the spike ball to semi-state. I'm going to get a first hand. I'm going to try to get RSN to cover it in between rounds.
You're going to commentate. You don't even know how to, he hit the ball. I don't know who's on whose team, but he hit the
Valley. The Valley. Between the legs, Valley. No.
If you ever watch it on ESPN, it's pretty crazy. Those dudes are nuts. So I'm kind of curious to see. I want to see some video of this. I want to see this. I got to scout them. Anyone send it any huddle video? Carol Fort Wayne, not Flora huddle. Trade it with me. There'll be Indiana Matt shirts. Indiana Matt shirts. I'll trade you for a huddle video of their spike ball. I'm coming. We're gonna come after them. So we're gonna trade that
basketball, video. Beating the kids in basketball by 30 every year. Or is this still spike ball?
No, I think it's a basketball. Jeez. Well, it's probably because everyone's afraid to even come close to you because you're like an MMA fighter. Like you threaten to punch them, and they're like, "Oh, okay, I'll let you get this nice easy layup and not touch."
You see Nick's ears? He doesn't have to threaten that.
But he's also probably. I just envision Nick as Billy Madison when they're playing dodgeball.
I like to think of him as RSN for sure. I'm going to tell him. I'm going to push for it, man. We're going to get in between rounds. I like to think Nick as Kenny Powers when he did the middle school gym teacher. If anyone wants to pick on this kid, I'm not looking.
Nice. So, Mikos, you got some video for me? You got any tape? Trade on Huddle? I know people with Indiana Matt shirts. I can hook you up. So nice. These are nice. What kind of blind refs do you have there? Anyway, Bobby's probably eating chicken wings for all he's supposed to be reffing. So yeah, if you guys check out that video, there's a video on there. I didn't see if there's any comments on that, but we're gonna go a couple days this week, and try to get some more of these on here. Talk about our semi-states. It's always fun to talk about semi-state.
That was my adult ADD, man. I ruined it. I'm sorry, Nick. That's my fault. I started just talking too much crazy nonsense.
So yeah, it's gonna be a fun week. So we will be. Oh, come on, help a brother out, man.
Man, I'm telling you, when we come back from lunch at the state finals, right before the third and fourth place match, the medal round, we need to have a spike ball tournament right there. When Nick Weishon used to do the wave and get everyone doing the wave, spike ball.
Yes. Oh my goodness. There's a lot of comments on the message board. So yeah, hey, make sure everyone does your pick'ems because you're gonna lose to either Mike or Caleb. So,
now we lost last year, right? Like who got us last year?
He replied to
Western guy.
Yeah. He made sure he said I'm coming for my title again. Where is it? Let's see. I posted it earlier. They replied. Oops. I don't know. It was somewhere earlier today. Who was it?
Who won the state championship for Western last year? That's whose dad it was, right?
Yeah. Nope, that's not it. I can't remember. I have to look it up. Josh Rome. He's the one. He said he's coming after you guys. So someone's gonna get fired if they lose to him. He's gonna take over a rankings position. That's how you get rankings positions. So
that's how Caleb got it for real.
Yes. And now his pick'ems aren't good because he knows too much information.
That's what happens, man. You start building these relationships. I'm picking Jacob Linke to win the semi-state because I heard this great story. I feel terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to bet against that
You
guy.
feel terrible if you don't pick him.
I know. I can't just be like a random fan that's like, I don't like this guy's name. It's like the NCAA basketball. Oh, they're the Blue Devils. I'll pick them. They seem like they're tough.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, with that, we're gonna let you guys go. And oops, throwing things on the ground.
I'll try to and I'm so upset we didn't get to do 2 semi-states.
Yeah.
I'll try to focus next time.
Well, we get distracted by all these comments. We're gonna have to turn those off or something. So
It's not my forte.
we'll be back later this week a couple times, probably a couple more times, because there's no way we're doing 3 semi-states in one night. So we'll figure that out as we get off the air. But everyone enjoy a great week, and you get to see us 3 times this week. So enjoy that. So
Now I got to do laundry 3 times, bro. I got to get my Indiana Mass shirt game up.
I'm just wearing a Super 32 one. I didn't even change today. So we'll see you guys later this week. So enjoy the Monday tomorrow. Hopefully it's not too snowy as it is up here.
Yeah.
Oops, I cut you off.
It's all good.
Okay. Bye, everyone.